Chris Dodson began his musical career at the age of 13 and now has a professional career as a singer and songwriter who dabbles in pop, jazz, R&B, folk, and funk music. I talk one-on-one with Chris for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and like Quintin's Close-Ups on Facebook. Chris Dodson, welcome to the award-winning Quintin's Close-Ups.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're very welcome. Obviously, you are a tremendous musician, and I know that you dabble obviously in pop, rock, jazz, R&B, and you're also a songwriter and teacher. What are you writing and teaching these days about pop, rock, jazz, and R&B?
Well, the students that want to learn how to write songs, I teach them to make it simple. Less is more kind of approach. You don't have to use a bunch of fancy chords. It's pretty much trying to get your message across. I think melody is pretty important. Lyrics are probably trump melody at this point, but I think you want something that people can relate to. I try and write music that people can relate to it. I don't try and be too specific. There are songs that I've written that are very specific that, about specific things, but I try and write stuff that everybody can relate to.
Yeah, and you say less is more, and you tell people, hey, write, in a simplistic way. How do you make your music simple?
Well, right now I'm writing believe it or not, I'm doing a folk kind of very stripped down, raw album right here in my studio, my recording studio. And Kevin Church is producing it. He's a very well-known musician in this town, and he's actually made me a better lyricist. With these songs, they're just there's not so much production going on. If that makes sense. A lot of it is just guitar, upright bass, and just simple brush drums. That's it. Other than that, there's maybe a violin, piano. There's a lot of harmonies because I didn't do a lot of harmonies on my first album, but I wanted to make sure that I did that on the second one. But it's very raw, stripped down. There's not a lot of production going on. Last year, during the pandemic, I wrote a lot of pop music using strings and a lot of MIDI stuff. I went all out. I did some hip hop. but I didn't do an album. I just released a bunch of singles.
Yes. Because
at the time, I just, didn't know where my money was coming from, but I did have enough money just to release singles because it's like $9 a song. So, but yeah, I took advantage of writing a lot of pop music last year about the pandemic, I did 8 songs last year. I think 8 or 9, and they're all on Spotify at the moment.
Yes.
Now my next album is gonna be released May 25th. That's the plan.
Wow.
Right around the corner.
I was just about to say, yeah, absolutely right. And, of course, I know Kevin Church very, very well because when I used to work at Qology, he used to come and play for us every week. So he's a tremendous musician as well. Yeah. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And how do you relate to folk music?
Well, I grew up listening to a bunch of different styles of music. My dad played Bob Dylan, a lot of Jim Croce. It was kind of the direction that I wanted to go in that direction because I love the simplicity of it. I love the feeling behind it. It's more of a storytelling kind of art, kind of music versus pop, where pop is very, it's limited. Most pop music today is either about, love, sex, or some sort of partying. But this folk, I've got themes of, I'm storytelling about my father-in-law. He's a woodworker. I'm talking about my wife, my 3 dogs, building a house,
yes,
finding myself. There's a song on there about don't get caught up with social media.
Right.
This whole world. You better start, focusing on yourself and stop following others. And then there's a song just about being in love. I know it's very cliche, but I mean, love is the easiest thing to write about, to sing about.
Yeah, absolutely. And how do you find yourself inside folk music?
I think it's more about just the rawness of it. It's more about lyrics than melody this time. It really is. But I'm still myself. I mean, I've kind of taken myself out of the whole pop thing and just stripped everything down to acoustic. I mean, there's only 2 electric guitar parts on this whole album. There's 8 songs, but it's more about lyrics this time. So, and anybody will tell you, folk music, country music, that's all lyrics. It's all storytelling. And I'm just grateful that I'm still around to do this kind of stuff after everything going on.
Yes.
To be alive and to be here, and I'm grateful. Lots of gratitude. That's what you do when you wake up. Sure. It's Friday, baby. Gratitude.
Yeah, thank God for this day in the name of Jesus. And what else have you had to strip down musically to stay afloat?
What have I had to strip down? Well, I mean, I've become more of a minimalist lately. I don't need a lot. In fact, the house that we built is just a little too big for me and my wife and my stepson.
Wow.
And the 3 or not, but I learned a lot in 2020 that the most important thing is family, friends, and just being positive. Gosh, we took a lot of things for granted, and man, I there were times where I kind of, even though I have a cool job of playing music, it gets a little mundane sometimes, and like, man, I don't want to do this. But now I'm just like, you know what? I'm so happy everything's close to back to normal. Gigs are back, weddings are back. I'm just I'm just grateful for everything that's come back to life.
Yes, absolutely. And what other things do you want to bring back to life musically?
Well, I mean, eventually I want to go back. I've got a 5-piece band with a female singer, energetic drummer, and I want to start writing music with them. I want to start writing like dance pop music, like summer music, like riding in a car, having fun.
Yes.
After all this, being stuck inside and not getting out to do much and travel, it's time to get out in your car and just go out and see life, see the country, travel again. I want to write music. I mean, after I do this, my next focus is to write a lot of upbeat, but I want to use all real instruments. So kind of want to go towards like the funk. I don't want to say disco, but I just want to like upbeat, happy music.
Yes.
That people happy. Sorry, I'm ain't what it usually is, but I'm just trying to tell you that energy. I want the energy, the positive vibes.
Yes, indeed, absolutely. And what is that type of energy when you're in that room writing and producing a song?
Oh man, it's just the creative process is so exhilarating. It's just it's rewarding. It's not always going to be exciting in here. There are days where you kind of don't get anything done, but then the days that you do get a lot done in here make up for the bad days. Some, like, for example, last week I came in here and wanted to sing, lay down some vocals, and my voice wasn't up to par where it usually is. And I just like, you know what, let's not do any vocals today. Let's just do guitars and instruments, and let's talk about the next step. So, you can't really force yourself to sound the way you want to sound. I mean, you're gonna use the voice that you have that day. So we did very minimal vocal work, but So those are kind of like the days that don't really, they're not rewarding, but you still get stuff done in here.
Yes. And what other instruments do you want to use for funk music?
Well, I want to use more keyboards. I want to use more. I want to use my female vocalist Elise Marie. I want to use horns. I want to use a lot of, rhythmic guitar. I just want the groove. I want the groove. That's all I want. I want something that grooves.
Yes.
I mean, at the end of the day,
yes,
that's
sir.
kind of music that that gives you the happy juices. Your dopamine levels. Raises them up. The happy. Nobody wants us to listen to sad music unless I mean, there's a time and place for that. But most people want to hear upbeat, danceable music, and that's the direction I'm going to go after this. Now, a lot of the music that I'm writing here is upbeat. There isn't the folk music. The folk music, most of it is upbeat, believe it or not. So there might be one slow song, but at the same time, the tempo's pretty high. So meaning it doesn't drag. It's not sad. So I mean, I'm very proud of what Kevin and I do here, and I can't wait to share it with everybody.
And I know that you obviously are an aspiring songwriter and would prefer to write songs for other artists and musicians as a non-performer and just perform as an entertainer. What song would you write and record for yourself to describe your future?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, I'm going to write stuff that I know. I'm going to write about my family. I'm going to write about unique people like my father-in-law. I'm going to write about traveling with my stepson, because there's a song about that. Like, I know I can't, if I write a song like that, I know a lot of people can't relate to it, but I think they'll enjoy just the thematic elements of it.
Right.
And I hope that when people listen to this, they just listen to they enjoy the words, they enjoy the melody. I hope it makes them feel good, because they can't necessarily relate to traveling in a car with a 13-year-old, a teenager. But I hope they just enjoy they can create visuals in their head, because there's a lot of imagery in this album, a lot of imagery.
Yeah, man. And what kind of visuals will you create for this funk music and folk music?
Well, the funk music, the dance, pop music, funk, whatever you want to call it.
Yes.
I'm thinking sunshine, awesome cars, having a good time, enjoying life. And then the folk music, more stripped down, more personal. But I'm hoping when you listen to this, it kind of feels like you're stepping back in time a little bit, just a little bit, not too far. It's folk. It's not. I forgot to mention that some of the songs are influenced by the old Delta blues singers. So there's a lot of blues influence too. It's acoustic blues.
Yes. Wow, that's amazing. Speaking of stepping in time, let me talk to you about this, because obviously upon entering your teen years, you were seeking a new interest, and I know you began a hobby that would lead obviously to your professional career now at the young age of 13, ironically, now that your stepson is 13. What got you from beginning a hobby to now having an actual professional career?
Well, I mean, I think in order to be good at something, you have to, or in order to be successful with anything, you have to be a little obsessed with it. So when I was a teenager, I was pretty obsessed with music, with the guitar. I'd come home from school, pick up the guitar, then I would do my homework. So, you have this whole idea when you go get a real job, and I've had real jobs before. I've had, I've done the corporate thing. I've worked at the Post and Courier. I mean, I've done some pretty unique jobs, and looking back now, they've all taught me something. But I think at some point you wake up, and after all things, you get so anxious at doing something you don't really enjoy doing, you just say, you know what, I think I have the tools, I think I have the tactics to be self-employed now. I think I have that I think I can do it now. And that's what happened. So I woke up one morning, I had a lot of conversations, did a lot of research on my own, had a lot of conversations with people convincing me to do it. And one day in August of 2013, I said, to hell with it. I was like, I'm going to try this. I'm going to see, I'm going to see what I can do. And you know what? I've made more money. I've been happier ever since.
And what is the biggest difference between 2013 and right now when you think of the music industry?
Well, back then, there was still a chance that you could make money selling records or selling CDs. Now, it's come full circle. I mean, it's have to perform. You have to sell merchandise. Right. We're back to where, like Vivaldi and Mozart were. You perform, you write music, you perform it, and you make money doing that. You're not selling records. You're not going to make any money because Spotify, MP3s kind of just completely ruined that for the music industry. So now it's all about either finding a publishing company that you can work for to write songs or performing. I mean, because, making this record, this is just strictly fun for me. I'm not expecting to, make some cash off of this. I'm doing this from an artistic point of view.
And what is your artistic point of view of the future of music?
Keep writing, keep playing. I've had dreams of becoming just a studio musician, just sitting here all day, recording guitar parts, whether they're acoustic or electric. I mean, at this point, you can't just be one thing. You got to learn. So you got to produce. You got to learn how to use these what do you call them? These platforms on how to record music. You got to learn how to record. You got to learn how to just branch out with your instrument. You can't be pigeonholed to one part of it. You can't. You're not gonna get anywhere just being a performer. You got to either add teaching to the repertoire, start doing studio work, start learning how to use these programs to record. Yeah, branch out. Wow. Although performing right now is the money maker. That's doing gigs and teaching is where all the money comes in. I mean, it's gonna take a while to get into the groove of being a studio musician and making money with that. And I've got a friend, a songwriting partner. We write commercial music like jingles. Yes. Doing that too. I mean, wow. I'm trying to do what I can. So I have a one backup plan after the other.
Yes, that's amazing. And what has music taught you about real life?
Well, there's every moment I've had, whether it's adversity or some sort of triumph, I can relate it to a song. I can relate to, what I was listening to at that time. There's different moods for different, there's different styles of music for different moods. I mean, I might wake up one morning and listen to classical music or jazz, but I might go to bed listening to some acoustic singer-songwriters. Just depends on your mood. Right. But music will always be a part of my life.
Wow. That is just so amazing. Well, the Honorable Chris Dodson, thank you so much for your time. And again, welcome to the award-winning Quintin's Close-Ups on my 2001 interview.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're very welcome. Yeah, anytime. And where can we go to buy your music and get any merchandise?
You can go to chrisdodsonmusic.com. You can go to Return of the Mac Party Band or returnofthemacband.com, or you can go to Spotify. Just write in my name on Spotify.
Oh, great. We'll do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Quintin.
Thank you.